I'm Stephanie Stallings, and my current scholarly work explores at what point and through what idioms music and sound can be considered an ethical solicitation that crosses cultural, linguistic, and geographic boundaries. My paper this year compares two songs by Mexican composers, Sylvester Huertas and Carlos Chavez, that both treat the topic of lynching in the US in the late 1930s, early 40s. And what's most interesting to me about this topic is that at the time the songs were written, Mexico was experiencing its own rash of extrajudicial lynchings, mostly in rural areas, as a result of a federal program of socialist education that tried to stamp out the cultural influence of Catholicism. And so my paper examines the songs both as the composer's very different expressions of allyship with Black Americans at a pivotal moment in US civil rights, but also how the songs can be read as criticizing lynching in Mexico on the one hand, while at the same time situating it firmly as a problem belonging to a US social context. I spent about a decade after graduating working totally outside musicology. So the past year, I've been reading kind of everything that I can get my hands on to sort of catch up. Right now, I'm reading David Rothenberg's book called Bug Music: How Insects Gave Us Rhythm and Noise. I'm reading Joanna Deemers's Listening Through the Noise on the aesthetics of experimental electronic music. Non-music related, I just started reading Patrick Radden Keefe's book Empire of Pain, which is a really fascinating expose of the Sackler family and their involvement in the opioid crisis. I'm encouraged by what I see as kind of the opening of musicology to a diversity of perspectives and approaches that weren't necessarily accessible to me as a graduate student a little over a decade ago. The past year for everybody has been this time of just rapid and tremendous change, including for me personally. I used to lead a university program in arts management, and it got cut as a result of COVID. So, but it's given me a chance in the past year to, reconnect with musicology, to catch up with old colleagues and their current work, which has been really fun. And to me, it's a really exciting time to be a musicologist because the field is just so rich with fresh ideas and new perspectives. I'm interested particularly in Mexican music, partly because of what you learn about the US and its intertwined history with Mexico and the region. And it's such a complex and multi layered history. My paper this year is a good example of that, but also one of the things that I'm following up on from that study is the importation and reception of minstrelsy in Mexico. A few minstrel and jubilee companies from the US actually toured in Mexico, and I'm interested in exploring how their presentations interacted with the already present ideas of blackness and whiteness in Mexico's obviously very differently historically colonized context.